Making headlines tonight, Barbados to get an opportunity to buy VAT-free on Wednesday. The cost of dental treatment is going up. The January 6 Select House Committee votes to issue criminal referrals against former U.S. President Donald Trump. And coming up in sports, Windies Women facing a whitewash from England.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
I'm Shane Jones, leading the news at 7. Barbadians have been given the opportunity to stretch their dollars just in time for Christmas, as government has decided to grant a VAT holiday on Wednesday. The announcement was made this afternoon by Minister in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Ryan Strawn. This means consumers will benefit from a 17.5% reduction in the cost of many retail goods.
As the case last year, the objective is to provide a welcome ease for consumers, which is obviously on top of what has happened already for the year, and we feel that the timing is right with respect to being able to do this in a significant way. Having faced about 33 months of significant economic challenges, COVID, the ashfall, Hurricane Elsa, the war in Ukraine this year, we believe that at this Yuletide season, consumers will certainly will benefit from the 17.5% reduction in prices on the day of goods on the day that attract VAT, and therefore will be able to stretch their budgets even further than previously anticipated.
The minister noted, however, that there are some conditions.
Only goods are eligible. Eligible goods must be available for sale with immediate issuance or delivery to the customer on the day. Orders for goods that are not in stock do not qualify. Hire purchase sales are eligible. This is to facilitate those persons who may not have the ready cash to be able to make purchases at this time. Credit purchases, however, or goods on consignment or from wholesale distribution centers are not eligible. Let me repeat. Credit purchases or goods on consignment or from wholesale distribution centers are not eligible.
Other items not eligible include vehicles, gasoline, diesel, LPG, guns, ammunition, cigarettes, and alcoholic beverages. The supply of accommodation is also not included in the VAT-free list. The initiative is expected to cost government several $1 million.
Last year when we did the assessment, it came in at just around 4.5, given obviously with respect to the increase in sales on the day in relation to that. So the data that we have been able to mine demonstrates that obviously, notwithstanding the little seasonality with respect to the fact that it was on the day that we gave the waiver, it is very much affordable in the context of being able for government to be able to sustain it.
Well, a number of initiatives are being rolled out as government seeks to rein in crime. They come amidst a number of murders and other brazen crime during the year. Well, joining us live now to speak about those plans is Minister of State in the Office of the Attorney General with responsibility for crime prevention, Corey Lane. Good evening, Minister Lane. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, good evening. Good evening to you and good evening to Barbados. Okay,
Minister Lane, tell us about these new initiatives and talk through them and how they will be enforced, because that's the important part.
All right, I want to make it clear that when I'm talking about the draft National Crime Plan, there are really two plans that we have, two-part plan. One is an immediate plan, because we have to have some of the initiatives rolled out immediately on coming to office. So that plan has 4 pillars and 15 initiatives that have been approved. 8 of those 15 initiatives have been rolled out already, and by the beginning of next year, we're hoping to have all 15 rolled out. So things are happening. A lot of those speak to tactical intelligence and enforcement operations. So obviously I'm not at liberty to go into them in the details that many may want to, but the one I can speak to, a couple I can speak to, it really speaks to street outreach and having NGOs and other persons working with the ministry, going out there and working with some of these persons who are perpetrating or alleged to perpetrate some of the violence we are seeing in the society. So that particular project speaks to direct intervention, and we have persons on the ground dealing with that. Now, the other plan is the bigger plan, the national plan, which is a medium to long-term plan, and that has to go to wide consultation across the society interest groups, social partnership, you name it. We have to do some consulting there. And that has over 140 initiatives. It sounds like a lot, but as we've been saying, many hands make light work, and we are in this together. And if each person plays their part of those 140 initiatives, some may have 2, some may have 10. But at the end of the day, if everyone plays their role, there's a part to play for everyone in society for this all-of-society approach to crime prevention and crime reduction.
Corey, over the years there have been a lot of plans, a lot of projects, programs to deal with crime prevention, and somehow a lot of them seem to have fallen short. What's different this time around? Because people are watching and they may say this is another government official coming with another suite of plans again, and we're not sure what's going to turn around the crime situation in Barbados. What's different this time?
What's different is that if they say that they don't know me. I've been able to implement a number of programs without the resources, without the backing, the authority, and now I'm in a position where I'm really seeing the great success and movement of the plan. That's number one. Number two, the reason that we have so many initiatives is because you are absolutely correct. When I go and I look at the back of so many report, consultation, conversations, consultations that they've had over the period of time, there's a lot of programs there, and we've not seen the implementation. I'm an implementer. Once I get myself involved in something, once I stick my teeth in it, there's no letting go until it is implemented. So the fight is on. That's the real difference. The difference also have been seen already. If you look around and you use common sense, you will see that there are a number of initiatives that have already been launched. So of the 15 initiatives that I sought to launch so far, 8 are already launched. So the difference is there already. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. And all you got to do now is swallow, because we've started to eat because we are past half of the first part of the immediate plan. So the difference is really that I am not interested in just producing documents and committees, and I'm not saying that others were. What my main focus really is implementation. So I have in front of me, I have different systems. I have a way to make sure that what is in front of me, that I get it every single day, and I work throughout the day, like I've done from morning to now, to make sure that these things come off of this paper, come off of this screen, and that they are implemented. So that really is the one of the main differences. The other thing is, again, not seeing the document as the output. I think that has been the case in the past, where the meeting was the output, the consultation was the output, the nice, thick, pretty document was the output. For me, the output is the activity and being able to evaluate the activity, monitor the activity, and be able to adjust and keep implementing. That's the major difference. For me, we could produce all the fancy, pretty documents, and we feel good, and that's the output. Boy, we've done something, we've done it, we tick the box. No. The actual recommendations are the output for me. That is a major difference, Shane.
Corey, tell me a bit about what you will use as a gauge for progress or success, because a lot of people are watching and saying, well, I expect that the next year this time we're going to have half as many serious gun crimes as we did this year. But in these programs we speak about short term and long term. So what do you gauge as success?
Right, actually in 3 years, and we're working through that. That's why I spent my last meeting, actually just came from next door, looking at monitoring, evaluating frameworks. And I mean, it's a fancy term, but it looks at how you put every single initiative in a grid, and you monitor and evaluate it. And what is success is just what you said. At the end of the day, in a period of time, not short term, not next week, not 2 hours from now, but in 1 to 3 years, that we see the reduction of serious crime, we see the reduction of gun violence, homicides, and other crimes, because some of the initiatives don't only speak to violent crime, it speaks to all crime. So in terms of empowering and developing the minds of our young people in a particular way, so that at the end of the day, what I like to call at the right to the equal sign, we are able to see that difference. So what we be gauging on, for instance, the program I spoke to in terms of the street outreach, when we see certain things happening, we know it's quite obvious that we will see some retaliations and so on. And what we are doing is going where angels fear to tread, which is to go directly to persons who will potentially get involved in retaliations and starting to work with them from there, hence the word prevention. So then we'll be able to gauge that. One of the things that are difficult in these programs, and I want to flag and underscore right now, this happened working with HIV. We did a lot of work in HIV, and we were able to prevent a lot of HIV. And in the early days, some people started to question why are we still seeing HIV cases and thinking that the programs may be a failure. And what they then stopped to think is that had we not done the interventions, the numbers would have been much higher. So sometimes you don't just see the success in things lowering, but you see the lowering of the rate, or you see the lowering of the speed at which it is increasing. So that is to say, for instance, the news will report who is shocked, but the news will not report who is prevented from being shocked.
Yes. And
and let's say the number next year is supposed to be 100, and you get down to 50, you may have a 10 increase on this year, but you would have and people may see it as a couple, but at the end of the day, we know the things that we are able to prevent, but it is not very reportable, and it's not really newsworthy, because people are not able to see exactly the meat of the matter, which is really the prevention of gun crime on this occasion.
Okay,
but the
Minister
other
Lane.
programs, as I said,
Yeah, I wish we had the entire newscast to speak about this, because I have some more questions for you, but we have to do this again. Thank you so much for speaking with us and bringing us up to speed with what's going on with crime prevention. Thank you so much for joining us.
thank you very much as well.
Dental costs are going up in Barbados. The disclosure from President of the Barbados Dental Association, Dr. Vidya Armagon. He says the profession has not raised prices since the COVID pandemic, despite having to change equipment, and he says those costs will inevitably have to be passed on to the consumer. The Dental Association president says the high cost of operating is also hampering efforts to get Barbados into dental tourism. Dr. Armagon is suggesting any future raise in prices can be avoided if the government removes duties and taxes on dental equipment and supplies.
One of the things we've been a proponent of is the elimination of duties and taxes on all dental and medical equipment and supplies. Now, okay, what does that do for you and I? Well, immediately what that does is it brings the cost of running a dental practice and a medical practice down. And there will be a pass-through to that. There has to be. That is just a natural evolution. It may not happen tomorrow. Like, they may drop the duties and stuff today, and you may see the fees stay the same, and you wouldn't see the fees drop. But what you will see is the fees not increasing over time. Now, most of us have not raised fees post-COVID, but we had to spend a lot of money in COVID getting new equipment. That hasn't been passed on yet, but it will be.
Dr. Armagon was speaking last evening on the Public Affairs TV8 program One on One. He's issued a caution on hiring the services of entrepreneurs known as dental quacks. He said the police needs to clamp down on the services they offer, like teeth whitening and fashion braces.
It is a police matter. The police need to go and deal with this. So it's not the council has already ruled on this. It's a violation, because to do anything dental, you have to have a dental license, to take an imprint, to do a filling, to do whitening. These are dental procedures by law, and you can only be a dentist to do it. So anyone doing that that's not a dentist is actually practicing illegally. We, the citizens, need to get these people out of our society before they get rooted. And it's not, because dentists want to make more money. It's not about that. We're fixing this mess after the fact, and it's going to cost you a fortune more.
Children are being encouraged to be careful what they post on social media. The caution from Sergeant Kim Harris of the Juvenile Liaison Scheme. She says it's particularly important now with them on Christmas holiday and likely spending more time online unsupervised.
Don't take pictures that can suggest where you live. Don't take pictures that could suggest your school or even your friends, because when you do this, you place yourself at risk of sharing a lot of very sensitive information.
Sergeant Harris is also warning young people about the dangers of taking or sharing inappropriate photos online.
Sometimes persons ask you for pictures of yourself. And you have to be very careful of the pictures that you're sending out. Even as adults, we have to be careful. And in Barbados, you're really a child until you have attained the age of 18. So no one, and you yourself, should not be taking inappropriate pictures of yourself. And when we speak of inappropriate pictures, we're looking at pictures where we can see your private parts or suggestive pictures, because this is basically child pornography.
After a 2-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Christmas edition of Mahalia's Corner returned in spectacular fashion. The grounds of Illawarra Court were transformed into a sea of people as scores gathered to enjoy the singing, spoken word, and musical performances. Host Mahalia Cummins opened with a special announcement that she's expecting a baby. The show was last staged physically in 2019, and it was held virtually last year. The other big revelation of the night pertained to a program known as Make Music, Make a Difference, or 3MD. Director Clarine Cave explained the initiative targets at-risk youth.
A lot of the times when we hear at-risk youth, we think deviant behavior only. We don't just work with deviant youth. We work with kids who are also vulnerable to predators. Right? So our at-risk is not just bad behavior or behavior that is challenging, but it is also those who would be vulnerable to predators. And there's a lot of that out there. There are lots of things that our kids are dealing with, and they need your support. Our medium is to teach them to play an instrument while we work on all the other stuff.
And band member of 2 Mile Hill, Chris Clark, revealed that a part of the proceeds from the show would be donated to 3MD.
I told her that we're gonna do this so that we can shed some light on the program, so we can have people come and donate their time or whatever they can donate to help, because it's an expensive initiative. But what she doesn't know is that we are also going to start the ball rolling by donating $10,000 to the program. So that will go a very long way. And that was made possible because you guys supported us in a massive way. So thank you very much.
We're hearing that shoppers appear to be cautious this Christmas. However, retailers are telling the Business Report things are improving as people shop for hams, chicken, and personal items. Trevor Thorpe visited outlets today and filed this report.
Western Wholesale Incorporated has introduced bundles for Christmas shoppers. Carefully paired packages are getting the attention of shoppers, as marketing manager Kobe Brooms tells the Business Report.
This year we are offering ham bundles, so you can get ham with brandy, ham with wine, ham with whiskey, and just ham with our new product called corn port, which is basically ready done ham. So we've been offering those bundles, and the response has been phenomenal. People have been coming down, the lines have been long, and we've been keeping people entertained so that while they wait, they're also sampling as well.
The foot traffic has been steady at quality suppliers, and although new to the sector, sales manager Robert Taylor says it is not all ham that is in demand this Christmas.
They just like chicken wings, sometimes chicken wings, but I find we do good in our salmon. If you want to say, I find a lot of people coming and buy the salmon because some people are not always in the meat. You know, a lot of people are eating fish, and you know, salmon is supposed to be one of the healthy fish, so I find a lot of people, you know, in our salmon, we have fresh salmon, we have whole, and you know, we have then also sliced. So I find that the salmon, it is doing well.
It's a slow build-up at multi-brand dealers Pride and Stokes, and Chief Executive Officer Adrian Padmore says people are spending cautiously this Christmas, but he expects activity to pick up as the week gets older.
Hams has been, there's been good uptake for hams so far, I would say. But as you say, prices generally across the board, not just in hams, have been on the rise. So I think consumers are spending wisely, choosing the brands that they wish to spend money with.
Dealers are expecting a rise in shopping activity as the big day gets closer. Trevor Thorpe for the Business Report.
Thanks, Trevor. Scores of businesses have been born under the Youth Business Trust, and that entity intends to continue pressing on to empower more entrepreneurs. That assurance from its general manager, Cardell Ferguson, during her address at the BYBT's graduation.
Under the project, we have supported 54 social entrepreneurs to start 50 businesses. Imagine there are now 50 additional social enterprises. And we intend to sustainably assist other young people through projects such like this.
Time now for the second half. sports, Mark, you promised us something?
Indeed, Barbadian Formula 3 Rookie of the Year driver Zane Maloney was the toast of the evening at Bushy Park recently. It was an evening with Zane, organized to celebrate the young driver's promotion to Formula 2 and his recent elevation to reserve driver for Formula 1 world champions Red Bull. CBC's Trevor Thorpe reports.
Cabinet ministers, officials of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Incorporated, family, friends and sponsors made up the guests in the open-air suites at Bushy Park for a special tribute to Barbadian driver Zane Maloney. The Trident Motorsport F2 and now F1 reserve driver for Red Bull says recent developments have been a dream come true, but the demands will be greater next season. He says the cars are much different from what he has driven so far.
It's a step up in terms of power, a step down in terms of grip, to be honest. In the corners, the F2 is almost slower than the F3, so it's a very different technique and different style of driving. I'm sure that the team that I'll be with next year will really teach me on what I need to do, and I think the biggest thing to learn from this year was not how to drive a car, but how to manage a weekend and manage a championship, because if I'm honest with myself, I should have won the championship by quite a big margin if I didn't make silly mistakes. So, yeah, the main thing is to drive as fast as I can, but more importantly, to keep the car on the track each weekend, not have any crashes, and bring home the best championship position as possible and not race by race.
President of the Barbados Motoring Federation, Senator Andrew Malalu, told the guests the boy from Barbados, as Zane is affectionately known in local and international motor racing circles, has shown maturity and is an inspiration to the Federation.
In Formula 3, like Formula 1 and in Formula 2, we have penalty points for drivers who behave badly. If you're judged to be the cause of an incident to do with driving, you're given points. I want to tell you all that Zane's first year in Formula 3, everything he did, all those close racing you saw up there, not one penalty point in 2022. Absolutely amazing.
Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, Charles Griffith, said Zane has a story to tell and should share it with other youngsters.
I really salute you in terms of your journey, and we fully expect you to go further as far as this particular journey is concerned. And not only those persons who are here tonight, but whenever, like I said, that you make podium, your success is our success. And we fully embrace that. And I want to thank, those who are supporting, because it is absolutely critical that we support the youngsters.
In his remarks, Minister of Tourism and International Transport Ian Gooding-Edgell said that BTMI will continue its partnership and support.
I also think there are other opportunities that we can advance and where we can take it and advance Barbados and build up Barbados' name within the community. As you celebrate your success, Barbados will certainly gain substantially from your exposure. And I know most people in Barbados, was it Monaco, wherever you race, there are people who will be on the phone, any device, on the television, just watching your experience.
The tourism minister also added that Barbados is an iconic destination and motorsport will be a significant pillar in its marketing program next year. The international motor racing season will begin in March. Trevor Thorpe, CBC Sports.
That's our news. Good night and be good. Thanks for visiting us. To get more stories like this one, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.